So in the land of technology, there's always issues, right? So I'm gonna sit here and I'm going to let people come back on, and then I'm gonna even use this as an opportunity to really tie it into what it was that I was saying. Okay, Shan, I'm back. So look at here. Let's have this conversation. Are you, and I said I want you to think about it, in the land of technology, always things can go wrong and they may not happen the way that you desire them to. But I got asked today, so I'll say this again. I got asked today, Tracy, what the heck motivates you? Like, why do you keep getting up? And like, I've been knocked down doing all these different things. Like, what is motivating you to stay in the game, right? What's motivating you to stay there? And my instantaneous response to her today was, I don't have what I desire. You know, that checks and changes all the time. Too many times you may start out and you may have something as the goal. So say, for instance, your goal was to go to college, right? And then you reach the goal of college. If you don't readjust and change the goals of where it is that you're going, and then decide, hey, this is now after I get to college, hey, I want to get a job. New goal. Can't rest till you get the job, right? Then once you get the job, new goal. What do you want to have? Okay, well, I want to make $50,000 a year. Okay, then you get to the $50,000 a year. And then once you get to the $50,000 a year, you readjust the goal and you keep going and you say, hey, now I want $70,000. So now you have something else to push to, because see, guess what? When things stop growing is when they perish. If you look at a flower, you're watering it, you're putting soil in it, you're doing everything that you need to be able to do to that flower. It's going to stay there, right? But the moment you stop watering it, you take it out of sunlight, it stops growing. So when you're looking for a bit of motivation, you have to be able to self-check and say, hey, in myself, ask yourself this question. Am I playing to win? Or am I playing so that I don't lose? Which one are you doing? Let me explain you the difference between the two. See, when you decide that you're playing to win, it doesn't matter what anything is in front of you. You're going to jump over the hurdle, go around the hurdle, go underneath the hurdle. You are literally just going to get that thing done, because guess what? At the end of the day, you haven't got what you came for. So when you play to win, you have to move people to the side. You really won't even see anybody in the room, because that's your goal. You understand where it is that you're going. But when you're playing so you don't lose, let me tell you how you do. You show up to the party, you show up to the job, and you do what you have to do just to maintain. So therefore, when things ain't going right, you can pinpoint and say, hey, but hey, I was here though. I was in the room. I participated. But guess what? As soon as it doesn't go your way, then you bow on out, because guess what? You didn't come to win. You literally was just here to make sure you didn't lose. Couldn't nobody tell you that you were not there, right? So when I sit back and I said, are you? That was something so deep, because I've been in this space. I've been in this transition of life. And then I remember I got to this one space. So now everybody sees me doing a different career, right? And they're like, hey, babe, what's happening? What's wrong? No, everything is right now. I'll tell you that. Nothing wrong with my career, but guess what? I got to the place within doing what I did. I've been doing it for a long period of time, at the top, on TV, on film, on TV, all the accolades in which I desired. And then I realized I was sitting here to play the loop, just to say, hey girl, this is my credentials. This is what I did. This is what it was. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. So therefore, I had to start rechecking and asking new questions of myself, and then asking those questions of people beside me and saying, hey, are you still in this bad boy to win? Okay, so what does win look like to you now? You know what win looks like to me? Other people. Like, if you're doing a leader creates new leaders. So if you're in a position where you're doing these amazing things, so you've reached the pinnacle of that. Remember what I told you, when somebody decides to do something, in order to grow, it has to be given something to grow. It has to be in the sunlight. It has to be in a space in which it's going to bear fruit and it can keep growing. So then I had to say, guess what? Are you in that space anymore? No. Did you come to win? Or did you just come again just so you don't lose? Hard question. Hard question for any woman or man to be able to ask themselves. Like, literally, am I in that space? Am I not growing or pushing myself to the next level anymore? Because guess what? I have stopped challenging. I've stopped putting myself in position. I'm literally trying to be safe. Are you trying to be safe? Guess what? If you're trying to be safe, you just here so you don't lose. That's it. Because you get one time to do this life. That's it. We don't get a chance to do it over. Hey, guess what? You can't log out and do a new page. Hey, guess what? You can't log out. You can't log out of this life and create a new page because you don't like how things look. You get one time to do this, and you have to do this well. You can fall over. You can make mistakes. But when you ask yourself, am I doing what I need to do? You need to say, did I come to win for myself? Right? I was in the gym the other day. And in our gym, they're doing some new construction. And in doing the new construction, the men's locker room is going to be down for 2 weeks. And so instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to go in the family one because guess what? My health goals are more important than anything. This man decided to say, hey, if the locker room is going to be down, then you know what? I'm going to take my money and I'm going to go elsewhere. And I'm just going to go ahead and go to another place. So instantly in my mind, I thought this man just is being here. Like, guess what? If that is all it took, if that's all it took to get you to knock you off your goals, then guess what? Everything else is going to happen underneath you to the sun. Because guess what? When you came in here, you were supposed to be focused on getting your body together. You were supposed to be focusing on keeping the best health and what you could have. That is playing to win. Forget everything else around you. Like seriously, forget everything else around you. When you're here to get your goal, go get it. Don't leave until you get what you came for. Don't adjust your goal. What do I tell? I see a lot of my team members on here. What do I tell y'all all the time? What you do is you set your outcome. You say, hey, this is what I'm going for. And when you don't get what you came for, you change the activity. You never change the outcome. Ever. You never say, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe that's not what God had for me. No, maybe God wanted you to trust him, have faith in what he gave on out here for you. Maybe that's what he's looking to see. Hey, at the first sign of things not going right, do you just run and then forget about me? Like seriously, is that what you do? Now it ain't looking a little good. So then what you do is you do the excuse, you play to lose, and then you say, hey, guess what? That wasn't meant for me anyway. No, he had it there for you. It was sitting right there in front of you. He wanted you to activate faith. He wanted you to use the things in which he's put in you. All the mistakes, all the blessings, it's all literally been lined up for where it is that you were supposed to go, right? But then you decided to make a different decision. You made a different decision. And in making that different decision, God said, do not change. Do not change the outcome, baby. Don't change the outcome. You change your activity. Maybe you were supposed to lean on me a little bit closer. Maybe it was, hey, you seeing that person in which I moved on up out of your path, and you're like, man, why? They were everything to me. They were what I needed. But he's like, you know what? That person that was in your space was actually taking you away from your destiny. Because guess what? That's where you'd be. I had to realize that even in what I was doing, people I knew it a long period of time. I was like, what is happening? And then I had an aha moment in my hallway, and I was talking to my husband, and I went, oh my God, I got it. What it is that if I would have stayed in that season, see, God was trying to move me into a different season. And in moving me into a different season, people had to go. They had to perish. They had to move away. They had to go away, right? And if they did not go away, you would not be doing what you're doing right now. Because guess what? That would have been a safety net. So I tested you. Hey, I tested you to see, would you still believe? Would you still do what it is that I said was going to happen? Would you still go in that direction? Because guess what? You've been telling everybody. That's what you've been saying. You've been saying to everybody, hey, what you don't do is change the outcome. You just change the activity. So then guess what I did? I had to change the dang going activity because guess what? I believe, I know, I said, I've decided, I've committed, I've resolved. I understand where it is that I'm going. Right? So anybody around me, anybody that I talk to, I always love to ask the question, are you? Are you? So what I'm saying is, are you playing to win? Are you just playing literally just because you want to say you ain't going to lose? Which one is it? We have a choice. Decision is number one. Are you going to decide? I'm so glad you tuned on in. A lot of y'all are texting me on the sidebar going, hey, Trey, I had some fire stuff. I have a great training to be able to do for my team tonight. And this is something, if you're going to be there tonight, you're going to hear more of this. Y'all ready? I'll see y'all later on tonight. Thanks for tuning in.